really struggle to get back into this one with that one squeegee. They want to take shots out this way too. I mean, the circle moves out, and this next hilltop, it only makes sense. It's the next stage for them, and APG are lining up to take shots out of reject. They still have Apollo, I believe, on the south side.
No!
To worry about. No, he is going to look to try and cross. And APG just keep going. They don't stop. He's still got more.
Doc, no! It's fine. No!
Oh, no.
Oh, it's happening. They got too big for their boots. They're winning too much. The docketing, it's returned.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dear me. Yeah, that's a frustrating. I think they had a fine position where they were. Top was popping off with a mini 14 as he usually does. It's an extremely aggressive rotate coming through from Doc there.
And it didn't pay out as well, which is the kicker, right? If it pays off, it's brilliant. But it seems like all too often it doesn't. At the moment, though, APG still have a solid spot. They might not have as good of inroads as they might have liked towards that northeast side without Doc's presence there. But Inner Circle sit behind them and will give them a challenge. Falcons moving up to the top of the perch here. I mean, they're not in the zone, but they might get some shots over towards Inner Circle. Redox not going to take them just yet.
Yeah, this is sort of a position they want to take to try and clear our area. I think most teams know that over towards the eastern side of this ridge, it is so difficult to pass through without getting shot to bits as you pass down. APG is going to take a little bit of a wrap around here towards Papra Supermassive, trying to get ahead of the issue, which is quite smart after initially finding that knock.
Across. Oh, no. Oh, dear. A second player down. And maybe we are witnessing something marvelous, something miraculous. The lobby is defeating APG. Ziolo with a challenge to Apollo, but he's good for one. Reefus now has to try and find him, but Apollo holds on a 1v2, and APG fall. Blank. The Giants have been slain. They flew too close to the sun, and Apollo burned them alive.
I mean, it all starts with the docketing. And it's frustrating to look at, to say the least. Did not need to make that play. It kind of throws everything else into disarray around APG. They've already done good so far with the amount of points they've been able to put up today. I think you're going to be afforded a little bit of a bad game at this point. Let's be quite frank about it. But still, it's one of those situations where we're going back to bad habits.
Circle breaks out to the east side, and I mean, it's not particular. I mean, it's pretty good for D+, I think. They might actually be able to survive for quite a while in this position on the east. It's going to be very difficult for teams to make their way across there, right? There's not too many avenues of approach. Maybe 9Z could challenge on that eastern side. I don't think it's a winning position, but I think it's a solid one for D+. I think APG are gone, right? They are not alive. Yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah. Falcons, they are looking to try and crash down. Ralph is already there. Novalo leaning out the window. Redox as well. There's Alter Ego need to hold, but they are split blank. They just don't have as much power as they like. Rosemary, though, is able to do one, and the second as well is good for Alva. Snake chiming in. The Falcons can't fly on through, and they are down as well.
Yeah, Falcons struggling there. GS looking to move on over. The D+ is very much a bit of a survival location for them right now, hiding out over on the east. There's not a lot of sidelines that they can take from that position, so they're hoping to hit everyone pretty hard with a 4-man squad towards the end game. Definitely want to see more action out of D+, though, because I think as a full 4-man squad, they have been a little bit lacking in that regard.
Alter Ego trying to keep GS penned in. Alter Ego, one of the few teams, actually, who is not in that sort of 20-point boundary sort of area. They are up in 4th place on 30 points. They're wanting to chase towards IC and 9Z up on 44 and 41, respectively. So we'll see what they can do here. In the meantime, though, Inner Circle are moving up over to the hilltop on the western, southwestern side. Loops going to evacuate it, and OG might be trying to push towards it as well. With Tiamba, overlooking. This push could be dangerous, but they're sending their forward scout in. OG want a piece of this.
Yeah, I mean, they found an initial knockout towards Tiamba. Tiamba's a pretty soft target right now, currently in 15th place. Not had the most amazing of performance so far. IC's really wondering whether this fight's worth it for them. Sadly for IQ, he does get ripped to pieces on the high ground. Felt like he'll get taken out by Nico. And WizGod is able to steal away at least one of those elims.
Well, he hasn't confirmed it just yet. That might be taken down. T24, the only survivor from Inner Circle as they descend the hilltop. A bit of a mad dash. There are a lot of teams around them. They try to carry forwards. They squirt out the side, and now the fight is between Loops and OG across these ridge lines, not in the valley in between. So they'll have to try and find their way on through, move closer to this next zone. That's what they're going to be looking for.
Alter Ego playing in pretty slow right now. They do have to deal with GS, who is on their western side, down to 3 players currently. Rosemary as well as Alva holding that angle off. OG right in front of Loops, and pretty sure Loops have a good idea of where they're playing. This lineup across the ridge, though, does give them a lot of playing power from this spot.
Yeah. Really going to try and feel the power as well. Add to their points tallies as best they can. Team Secret on the southeast side, needing to move in. Alter Ego still on their split blank, still Guardians to the approach. Ooh, Loops making their approach though over towards OG. One of them down, one of them very, very low there as well. Nades from Aru. He needs to up that elimination game. We were talking about it before, during the breaks between these matches, and now's the time to do it. But Tanky getting knocked as well. Aru needs to find it, and he does. The spray down's good over towards Loops. It's traded off, but it keeps them in it for just a moment longer. One of them's been flushed away. AKOP going for that heal, and WizGod cooking a nade. Ratu Boy and Neilzada.
Oh my
caught in the
God.
explosion. And WizGod opens the cannons. It's a 1v1 now, but it's Loops to close it down. It felt like a miracle nade, but it was not to be. Everybody circles, so the vultures approach. It's Tianba moving in. It's Papara Supermassive as well. These reses could not come quick enough, and Loops are into a 1v4v4.
Oh my days. Papara Supermassive desperately wanted that one as well. They get 7 elims, so they profited a little bit off the back of it. Tiamba got 0, so they actually got none of them off the back of that. I think the flush came onto the singular player, and then that subsequently removed the rest of the players from the game before those nades hit. Smart decision.
Alva. No, Alva not quite on. Rosemary was. 2 players from GS. I mean, Alter Ego have been keeping these guys locked up for a long while now. That's got to feel pretty appalling, really, especially on that high ground. Alter Ego do have approaches to this next zone as well. Middle of the map, now being scouted out by Team Secret. Wolves on the northeast side with E+ on the challenge. They've been quite cut off from the rest of it, but Nolbu still has his wits about him. Wolves not quite able to find it. He gets another. Nolbu nearly gets the 3rd as well. Doran's so low. But now Fabian has to step up for the oversight. Coops on the backline with the rest of the team moving in. Osal has the angle maybe as well, but Doran is backed off. Coops can't quite find it. In goes Chips. D+ do not want to let this one go. They need to keep Nolbu alive, and Chips wants to fight. He steps up, but can't quite get the spray. Not the first one. Doran backs off again.
Has good info now, though, and a nade. Should do the trick. Lobs it down. Will take down Doran. Now just Coops left alive off in the distance. Immediately look to pick up Nolbu. And Nolbu does such a good job there for D+. He was the big difference maker on the squad over in those finals. Fabian comes in around the side. Coops tries to find a little bit of something whilst D+ attempts to reset on this fight. But it's not meant to be, as D+ is able to stay alive. If they can run Nolbu into the circle, the real saving private Nolbu situation. For Alter Ego, though, they are currently chasing for 3rd place right now, and 3rd place is currently knocked out of the running. We're getting close to that end game. Let's see if Alter Ego can lock things down here. It is not the most difficult of final circles as well in terms of teams. All right, I mean, Papa Supermassive still up, IC, but we've only one player. So Alter Ego, I think that they can have a good chance here at this game.
The thing that they suffered from, though, previously, Blank, obviously we saw in that Erangel match, they take these peaks and they keep on the angles a little bit longer than they probably should do. And that has been their kryptonite in today's matches so far. Maybe they'll find some discipline moving forwards. They have moved down that hill. But when the rear guard moves in as well, they'll lose sight lines over towards Goat. And that might allow Goat to flex out, maybe take a peek over towards them. Not to mention, this crash is going to be dangerous. And already some damage is tagged on, more than that too. That is going to be a hard move down. D+ trying to reposition out wide again against the last player from Inner Circle on the east side. Only one player taking those sprays. But that's what we were looking for. Alter Ego going down.
I mean, one player on the back end. I mean, should be able to res him back up. Go now need to deal with the player from GS. Icon swinging around the side, flying through the air with a shotgun in hand, but it's not enough. That will give time for Alter Ego to res back up and attempt to regroup with the rest of the team, but Twix is not having any of it as he snaps straight back over towards them.
Immediately. Ooh, Alpha goes down as well. That is traded off. But
yeah.
Rosemary falls. This is a straight up bloodbath on the northern side. Goat taking the shots. This descent down the hill. It's just not working out. Alter Ego lose 2. They could not get Rosemary and Alpha back into the fight. So it's all up to Snape and Krypton. It's not looking quite as good as it once did, Blank. That regroup really suffered.
It's the regroup. It's the regroup is just not gonna. I mean, you're coming into stage 6 and you're still playing this 2-2 split here. It's what it is it isn't actually. It's not that the players are silly or dumb and they don't know to do this. It's just greedy play. All the players here are all phenomenal at PUBG Mobile. That is just greed. It's 100% greed. And Alter Ego could have way more points on their hands. And like, it's such a promising Indonesian team. I don't think you should be being greedy at this stage of the tournament format here in PUBG Mobile right at the end of the year. They need to learn to fall back on one another, and soon.
D+ have complete oversight of what's going on here. They were waiting for him to step out. I think it might be a point denial for T24. Don't know if he got that one started in time to be able to out heal. Oh, he does. He's got 3 more. And he's going to have to run quite far. He has to set out now and just go for a mad sprint. But D+, they're not going to be forced off their angle. Yeah, this is going to be point denial. Just try and stay alive as long as possible.
Try and get as far into this game as they can. I mean, for D+ right now, you know what the play is? The play is just to swing behind this ridge on the south side and attempt to deal with Tiamba as well as Papa Supermassive. But you just have to be confident in taking these engagements now. I mean, they could try and swing just underneath the ridge on the east here, take shots down towards Papa Supermassive as they make this crossing. But they've got to be quick because Papa Supermassive's already looking to take that position away from them.
And they're moving in with 9 elims. They have been through the thick of it. D+, oh, a lovely little lineup for Chips over towards Tron B. That is a brilliant opener on the approach. Nolbu takes a lick of damage, but he will be okay. Not really in a position to go for the res. Papa Supermassive can't quite branch back out, and that's going to be the flush coming on through. Fabian picks it up. The nade from Lost looked all right, but it didn't get a knock in response, and they just aren't finding anything. Osal moves up for oversight. Kamikaze on the backline, not really having an impact yet, Black.
Yeah, it's a really good maneuver from Osal as well, immediately picking up the position that Tron B held. So now he has the Papa Supermassive off angle, and that was what's going to cover them versus the other team as they approach towards them. Kraken finds Snape as he attempts to rotate out. Now leaving just Krypton alive here going forward. Nobu was able to find one of the GOAT players in Twix. That was a player that moved down early on. This is exactly what I wanted to see from D+. It was a little bit late, in my opinion, but made up for the fact when you do see Chips hit that disgusting shot. Sadly, we get an interesting play there with the MG3 jumping out. They'll trade a player for a player, but they do find Nico in the process. But now it looks bad.
Kamikaze in a 1v1 against Fabian, and he's looking for the res on towards Nolbu, but he's already got the angle. A lot of damage sent towards Kamikaze. Can he find the final shot?
Good job.
Yes, he can. A D+ close it down. They lose Osal, but they're up to 11 eliminations at the moment. Goat, though, moving into position. And Tianba, actually, looking to try and crash straight into D+. There's only one player still alive there, and I think that's them done and dusted. 3v4 now in the final circle.
To be fair, it's way better from D+, though. And it looks a lot cleaner. That team fight there was well coordinated. I think there's definitely still a little bit of firepower they're missing when it comes to that closing moment. Well, not even the firepower. I think it was just the decision making towards the end that actually comes back to bite them. But it feels like D+ is starting to get back into the mix of things. I mean, it took a little bit of practice to get there, but you know, a couple of warm-up rounds sometimes that's what it takes. But yeah, I was much more impressed with D+. They made the right call as well. But GOAT so far have just had a commanding presence over this lobby since basically Alter Ego gave the entirety of the north side to them for free.
Bond wants to try and find a shot. Go and do something earlier, do something pretty. But it looks like it's not quite as good looking this time around. Will be shut down. Plenty shaken by that. Like you said, dashes across, but there's 2 players with Tianba. They're all caught out in the open, and there's 4 players from GOAT on the hunt. It's all left to the 1 player left standing. A heal, a first aid comes through, maybe ticking up with the stims, but the blue zone is pushing, and I don't think he's leaving this shack.
That nade's pretty close to you, buddy.
Ooh.
Yeah. That one's right on the doorstep. I don't know how he's dodging all these, but fair enough. Vic around the side, should be an easy cleanup for GOAT there. And a much needed win for GOAT as well, being down towards the bottom side of the lobby. That will see themselves a little bit safer after that game. So very, very well played indeed.
It was a controlling presence over towards the north. Alter Ego really couldn't do anything under their watch. Maybe if Alter Ego had moved earlier, it would have been